Hello, I'm Dr. Richard Trammel. Come with me as we discuss the psychological factors that make Deion Sanders prime time. Deion Sanders is seemingly rewriting how to coach college football. As of September 17th, 2023, Coach Deion Sanders has been with the Colorado Buffalo football program for a few months now. They've played 3 games thus far and have gone 3-0. Now, this was a team that won, I think, 1 game last year, and now they've started out undefeated this year. How is this happening? What is going on with the Colorado Buffaloes? As we think more deeply down this so-called psychological rabbit hole, we can also ask, well, did just one man cause this whole eruption? Apparently the answer is yes. Another deep question is, well, the players that he took with him from Jackson, were they not in Division II last year? And if so, could they not have competed in Division I? If they were that good, why were they not in Division I? It's a good question. Let's ask another question. If Coach Sanders was so effective and has been so effective in college football, why hasn't other people tried to recruit him in coaching all of these years? I think the answer is quite obvious, is that as he has gone up into the coaching ranks, he has followed his son. And that's the reason why I've got a funny feeling, and I want you all, it's just my opinion. I obviously don't have any insight into Deion Sanders' mind, but if his son goes to the NFL next year, you might be at the end of the rope for prime time in Denver, Colorado. I mean, if I was an owner, I would make it a package deal. Look, if you will come to us, you got the head coaching job as well, because quite frankly, if this kid keeps playing the way he's playing, he's going to be one of the top, if not the top quarterback in next year's draft. Now, I know Coach Sanders said that would never happen. However, it seems like his trajectory has been consistent with the movement of his son. So therefore, would it be far-fetched to say that Deion Sanders is training his son to play in the NFL? And is this not the perfect segue for Coach Sanders to get back into the NFL? The deeper psychological question, though, is would he have as much success in the NFL as he has had in college because of the motivations of those players in college versus the motivations of the players in the NFL? Players in college that are good enough to play in the NFL, that is their motivation. The money is primarily their motivation. Get a payday, get a paycheck. When they get to the NFL, what is their motivation now? Well, if they have a contract that is incentive-based, is to stay healthy so they can keep cashing out. And they're all competitive, we know that. But are they playing as physical and as tough in the NFL? Are they playing in college? Because their motivation has already been met, you see. Now, if you don't have a guaranteed contract, yeah, you're going to be playing very, very tough on a week-to-week basis. However, let's say your contract is virtually guaranteed no matter how you play. What is your motivation? Your motivation might be to stay healthy for a long life after football. So the two populations of collegiate player and NFL player are totally different. Yes, they're all competitive, but when they don't have anything over here and everything is over here as far as financial, there is a lot of incentive for them to continue to play at 100%. What psychological factors have I noticed so far of Deion Sanders' personality that appears to be an extremely effective tool or tools to help motivate young men to play their hearts out, play their guts out? What is happening? What is he doing to motivate these guys? I have identified 3 things that I think that he is doing that is separating him from coaches, I mean, deep in the SEC, he is separating himself from these coaches with attributes that he either has or he is using that nobody else in college football is doing. The first thing is that he has credentials that, from my research, cannot be matched. In other words, this man is a Hall of Fame football player. He was playing in the NFL at the top of his game for many, many years. Not only that, he played Major League Baseball for years as well. So this man, one of the greatest athletes to have ever played sports, period, a dual sport athlete, when he talks to a player, he has enough credentials and credibility, they're going to listen because they know that this man knows what he is talking about. Number two is that everybody now understands what process is. That, that's old hat now. Everybody is doing that. And so is Coach Sanders. I mean, he emphasizes very, very hard work because he has said it 1,000 times that even though you have a lot of talent, and he had a lot of talent, it's going to be a lot of work. And so even though the kid might have, or the kids on his team are very, very talented, he is stressing to them the same old of process thinking and hard work. However, this thing comes with a twist, and this is what is part that is separating him from everybody else. He is apparently ruling with love as opposed to screaming, yelling, and all the old coach talk that every coach in the NCAA seemingly does. Since he can relate to these players at such a deep level, he supports them with love in his heart. But at the very same time, he is using self-determination. And simply what that means is, look, I love you to death. I'll do anything for you. But this ball is in your court. You have got to do it. I can't do it for you. But I'm going to support you 10,000%. But you've got to do it. So in other words, it's not a screaming match. It's a love match. And so I feel like these players respond to this man because I believe that he genuinely cares for them on and off the field. Now, am I saying that NCAA coaches don't care for players after they leave university? No, I'm not saying that. But I'm talking about a deeper level, a deep, deep level of love. He talks about it all the time, that he really, really cares for these people, deeply cares for them. And I think that it comes through when he talks to them and their parents. In fact, he's even said that some of the parents, one young man's father is in jail. And so the man that is an inmate asked Coach Sanders, you take care of my son while he's with you. And he gave him that promise. So he's coaching from love instead of fear. That's a big deal. And then another factor he is using is there's no doubt that locker room and that environment, a lot of times, there's a lot of fun going on. I mean, I hear the music playing. You see those celebrities on the sidelines, rappers and, The Rock and all that. I mean, that creates an environment of excitement. And it's fun to play. So when you have an athlete that's having fun, even when they're going through adversity, that makes it even more enjoyable for a young man. And the last thing that I think psychologically that is making Deion Sanders successful is that he talks the language of a young man, a young football player right now. He doesn't talk like some stiff shirt academic or some guy that is writing X's and O's. Okay, fellas, here we go. One for the team, winning. We're just out for, we're winning. He's not talking like that at all. He talks like they do. I ain't hard to find. And talking like that makes him seem more accessible and relatable to those players, but he's genuine. I don't think it doesn't appear to be a disingenuous bone in this man's body. He's for real. And I think that combination of his credentials, love in his heart, keeping it fun, and, being genuine and letting those players think that they can relate to him when they really can't. And he can certainly relate to them, that's for sure. But he is talking that language, their language, the language of football for a young man. And they are responding, and they are playing their guts out. But the funny thing was, they were playing their guts out last year at a Division II school. And they're doing the same thing now. Were they not good enough to play in Division I? I think the answer is obvious. They were good enough to play in Division I. So the question becomes, why were they not playing in Division I? That is why this whole University of Colorado experience is almost like a number 42 kind of a thing here, in my mind. What is really happening here? Are these players that are playing in Division II, are they not good enough to play in Division I? What? You see where I'm going with that? What's happening here? Are we having a Jackie Robinson moment here? I don't know. But I'll tell you what, it is exciting to see in Colorado football. Whoever would have thought the University of Colorado, of all places, would be the seismic center of something that's happening. But I got news for you all, Colorado and Colorado fans. Coach Sanders made it very clear, my tombstone is not at Jackson. He made that very clear, and I got news for you as well, Buffalo fans. His tombstone is not going to be at the University of Colorado either. My gut tells me that wherever his son lands in the NFL, you might see him there as well as part of a package deal, right? I'm coming. Yeah, he gone. Maybe. Question from Bridget from Atlanta. My daughter, 13, has a mental block in doing gymnastics without someone. Okay, first off, there is no such thing as a mental block. So the absolute first thing is stop referring to this and talking to her in the language that she has a mental block. Eliminate the language, mental block. Honey, we're gonna, get somebody to help you overcome the mental block. Every time the athlete thinks there's something wrong with them, guess what? There's something wrong with them. So therefore, you eliminate the wording, mental block. She has a mental block. She does not have a mental block. She just is going through a challenge right now in her gymnastics. That's all. It's just a temporary bump in the road. I don't even like using that word, quite frankly. It's just a challenge. All athletes enjoy overcoming a challenge. That's why they're athletic. More than likely, it's because of the competition, whether it's themselves, or the game or somebody else. They like the competition. But a mental block is kind of an indicator that, there's something wrong with me. And that's an untrue statement. It's just an untrue statement. So by referring to it as a mental block, you are actually kind of programming that in her subconscious mind. So that would be the first thing, is stop talking in those terms. She's got a mental block. No, she doesn't. She doesn't have a mental block. She's not in a slump. He's not throwing in the dirt. That's not happening at all. It's just that this is just a temporary challenge. That's all. We're going to come over. We're going to get through it. And so without someone there, so more than likely this is about a backflip or something that when the coach is touching her or supporting her, she's okay. So there's a couple of things that are going on here. Either that maybe she's had an injury in the past and she's afraid of re-injury because it's avoidance of pain. Pain avoidance. I mean, everybody's got that. And so maybe that's partly to do with it. Or that this is just a typical fear of letting the coach down or letting her teammates down, or more likely letting her down. So she's got a garden variety fear of failure. Bottom line is that Everybody here, I would imagine, coaches, parents, the whole thing, they're talking about blocks, they're talking about not doing this and not doing that. So therefore, watch your language around her. Everything is process orientated. There's no outcome language here at all, nothing at all. You can do it, honey. You can do it, honey. You forget all that. I know it sounds encouraging. It's not really. It can be a tremendous pressure, certainly on a young teenage girl, by people saying that, right? You just focus on what needs to be done and not think at all about an outcome, right? Either whether an outcome is 10 seconds from now or 10 minutes from now or 10 days from now. You simply focus on what she needs to do to be successful and talk like the so-called mental block was something that happened in the past. When you were not able to do that, yesterday, what were you thinking as opposed to now? And you're overcoming this challenge. So you talk to her like an assumptive notion that she's already overcome it, right? Yeah, you got to move forward, moving forward. 6 inches in front of your nose, we're moving forward, but we ain't going back. We ain't going back. We're going forward, 6 inches at a time, as if there was nothing there. Not in denial, but thinking of it simply as a challenge. And every athlete, every competitive athlete, is what they want to do is overcome challenges. That's why they're doing it. I hope you enjoyed this session of Ask a Sports Psychologist. I'm Dr. Richard Trammel, sports psychologist of Level 3 Sports. If you are an athlete or the parent of an athlete who is struggling with performance anxiety, or you'd like to increase your athletic performance, give me a call at the number below. For my social media audit, if I've helped you, help me keep coming to you by becoming a Patreon contributor to my channel. The link is down below in the description. All Patreon contributors are guaranteed an answer to their questions. Send your questions to support@level3sports.com, and I guarantee I'll get that thing answered right away. I'd love for you to be a new subscriber to the channel. Also, hit the like button, place a comment below if you got something to say, and be sure and hit that notification bell to let you know when I put up a new video. And please remember that the commentary on the subject matter is my professional opinion. My opinions are not based on a psychological diagnosis, since I've not interviewed the subjects. They are strictly for entertainment purposes. Thanks again for visiting Level 3 Sports Psychology. I'm Dr. Richard Trammel. I'll see you again next time.